All right, so I wanted to show you what an exchange meal can look like. And this is in a container I got from Amazon. You can get 10 of these for about $7, $8. They are microwave and dishwasher safe, which is great. I ate some of this already, so I apologize. But one thing to know is that if you have the same number of exchanges of carbohydrate as fat, that's going to be best for your blood sugar. So if you're not used to, if you don't really know what to eat, this can be a good way to go about it at first until you're able to learn how to pay attention to your cues, your body sensations, and do more intuitive eating. This can be also very helpful if you are diabetic. So let's look at the carbohydrates first. We have cherries, crackers, and tomatoes. Tomatoes, we don't have to count. The vegetables that we would call more of a carbohydrate and count those would be potatoes, peas, and corn. But right now we're going to leave these alone. Cherries, fruit, one medium fruit is one carbohydrate. So I'm going to guess and say this is a medium fruit. It might be a little bit more. That is okay. So I'm eyeballing these. Now, crackers, if I have, say, pasta, rice, quinoa, a fourth of a cup is going to be one exchange. If I have bread, one slice, usually when it's 1 ounce in weight, is one carbohydrate. And you can, at first, look at the back and say, okay, look for how many carbohydrate grams there are. And if there's 15 or around there, that is one. So I'm going to just guess. I had actually a couple crackers already. But I'm going to say that this is 2 carbohydrates. It might not quite be 2 carbohydrates, but my cherries might be slightly more. So 1, 2, and 3 carbohydrates. And then I'm going to move into fats right now. This is hummus. This is a little cup that goes on the top of a liquid medicine container. And I think it's really great for sauces, thick sauces that aren't going to slosh around. This is 2 tablespoons of hummus, and that would be 1 fat. 2 tablespoons of salad dressing would also be one fat. This is an avocado. It's itty bitty avocado, and 2 tablespoons of avocado is 1 fat. I already had some of it. So I'm going to call that 1 fat. It might be a little bit more, however, the walls of this avocado are pretty thin. So I have 1, 2, and then this is cheese. I can call cheese a protein or a fat. And I'm going to, since I have 3 carbohydrates, call one of the sets of cheese a fat. Now 1 ounce is 1 protein or 1 fat, and I looked up on the label. So 1 fat is about 5 grams. This might have had 6, but it's about 5 grams of fat. And 3 slices were 1 ounce. I ate one of these already, but I'm going to call this a fat. So for my fats, I have 1, 2, 3, and that balances out the 1, 2, 3 carbohydrates. Then for protein, 1 ounce of cheese is also protein, so with another slice here, that would be 1 ounce. This is salami, and granted, yeah, it has a lot of fat in it, but I'm going to call it a protein, because you can do that. 12 slices was 2 proteins. So a protein is about 8 grams of protein. A fat is about 5 grams of fat. And a carbohydrate is 15 grams of carbohydrate. So that's how, if you're going to look at labels, you can tell what something is. But really remember, the goal is to, at first, start eating very balanced, to kind of break some habits you might have that are based on diets. And then from there, moving more into paying attention to body cues. Now, an egg is 1 protein. So my proteins here are 1, 2, 3, 4 proteins. So for this meal, it's actually really balanced, and it's kind of a fun thing to eat because there's so many different tastes. I like that. I have 1, 2, 3 carbohydrates, 1, 2, 3 fats, and 1, 2, 3, 4 proteins. So hopefully you find this somewhat helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to submit those.